me give you a quick introduction about him. So, Love Zohar is a seasoned governance, risk, and compliance professional and certified ISO lead implementer with over a decade of experience in cybersecurity and information security training. As the founder of Cyber GRC, he has delivered 10,000 plus hours of training to 20,000 plus professionals across 15 plus countries, empowering global teams to implement and audit ISO 27001, ISO 22301, ISO 27701, and ISO 42001 framework. Loves practical hands-on teaching style, bridge technical depth with real-world application, making complex GRC concept simple and actionable. He holds multiple certification including ISO 27001 and 42001 lead implementer, CompTIA Security Plus, ITIL V4, CCNA, and Prince 2 practitioner.
Welcome back to Cyber Talk with Cyber GRC podcast, where we decode security, compliance, risk, and everything organizations should be doing but never talk about. I'm your host Vidya, and today we are diving into a brutal, honest topic that every ISO 27001 certified company struggle with but barely admits. Getting ISO 27001 certified is easy part, but maintaining it is actually easy. That's where the real battle begins. What happens after auditor leaves? Why do controls collapse? Why does evidences disappear? And why do most companies get non-conformities in surveillance audit than in certification audit? To answer this all, we have none other than Love Johar, ISO 27001 lead implementer, auditor, and one of the India's top GRC trainers. Here's to break down the real world challenges and reveal what truly happens after certification. So let's begin with our first question. Uh, People say getting ISO 27001 certified is easy part. Why and what becomes difficult after certification?
A very good question to begin with, Vidya, basically. So that is true also. Getting the certification nowadays, we have two stages in the certification: stage one audit, stage two audit. So people are able to clear those stages because there is a set of things that you have to do in order to clear those stages. But what happens after that, things start becoming difficult, because once you have gone the certification, once you have got the certification, then people think that now we have got the certification, now we don't have to do anything. So that is where the difficulty starts after the certification, and nobody talks about this. The problem of the situation is that I have not seen anybody talking about this difficulty which the organization faces after getting the certification, because see, that is where the real challenge starts. Okay, during the implementation, during the
Yeah.
certification process, everybody is active, documentation is fresh, audits are happening, so everybody has that energy, right? But after certification, your consistency is not there. I've seen that teams move back to business as usual. People forget their roles and responsibilities that they had during the certification time. Risk assessment registers become outdated, evidences are not maintained, so all these things are, I've seen lagging up. So the real challenge is ensuring that the ISMS operates continuously, not just during the audit season and not just during the certification season, but actually during the process itself. That is why ISO 27001 also believes in conducting surveillance audits, and I think surveillance audits plays a vital role here, and they catch more non-conformities than the certification audits in some cases. So where it is evident that organizations are failing to continuously improve the ISMS and maintaining it. See, getting the certification is one thing, but maintaining is a different thing altogether, right? So yes, this is
Yeah.
a one crucial area where organizations have to start looking at. Yes.
Okay. Once an organization gets certified, what are the first things that typically start breaking down?
So basically, once an organization start certified, these are the things that I have these are the things. If you can see on the screen, ISMS failures post getting certification with there. So these are the things that start breaking down. Okay, policies, okay, become shelf documents again, because during the certification you are very active with the policies and procedures, but once you have got certified, then they are only there on the shelves. That's it. Risk assessment becomes outdated. Nobody updates the risk registers anymore because that is it. Controls fail due to inconsistent operation. Controls start to be implemented, but they're not able to operate throughout the year. Evidence collection is ignored. Okay, security awareness fades. People are no longer taking those trainings anymore. Okay, ISMS scope changes over the time, but nobody updates it with the business changes. For example, tomorrow your business is going through acquisition, merger, and all, but nobody changes the ISMS scopes. They think that we have already certified, right? But the reality of the situation is different on the ground now. Okay, vendors are not
Yeah.
new vendors are added to the system, but nobody is assessing them because they got the certificate now. They have the badge now. Why to assess the new vendors? So all these things which are there on the screen are some of the the failures. So people actually, during the certification, as I mentioned in the beginning, Vidya, people have that energy, people have that that sense of getting the certification in place. But once you get the certification in place, then I think either we lose the perspective at a longer term, that it is not only about getting the certification, but to actually maintain it and manage it for a long term, because that is the end goal. See, information security is not about getting a certificate. Information security is a culture. It is a kind of a it is a kind of a culture that you have to drive in your organization at a day-to-day operational level, not only at the certification stage. So that is why all these failures you see on the screen are clearly evident.
Anybody want to take a screenshot of the screen, so they can take a screenshot, and whatever slides we play in this podcast, you can take a screenshot, so that it will be helpful for your implementation and thing. And if you have any kind of question, feel free to ask, we're gonna answer it. And let's move on to the next question. What are the biggest year-round maintenance activities organization fail at?
See, biggest year-round maintenance activities, I would say, is maintaining the risk register, which is very important, which is the core of ISO 27001, which ISO 27001 believes that actually. Because if you are not taking care of your new risk, if you're not calculating your new risk, you're not doing the risk assessment properly, I think that is where the biggest problem starts actually. Okay. For example, you have started using new software, you have started using new AI tools, you have started using new departments, new functions, you have started using new activities, but are you assessing the risk related to those activities? No. That is where it starts becoming a biggest gap actually. Okay. And then on top of that, patch management, I have seen it becomes inconsistent. This is one of the biggest areas where I've seen, the vulnerability management is not consistent. Patch management policy says that severe patches have to be applied on a monthly cycle or a bi-monthly cycle, but actually those are not happening on the ground. I've seen that, right? So those are basically some of the things that the reasons why companies get non-conformities during the surveillance audits, because the surveillance auditors are able to assess all these things very very easily, right? And yeah, these are some of the areas. Definitely there are more areas, but these are the prime areas. If your risk assessments are not properly done, it starts from there itself. Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Can you please explain how evidence management becomes a nightmare after certification?
Oh, during the certification, you have to produce so many documents that people are used to collecting the documents because they know that without documentation, auditors will not give them the certificate, right? But after the certification, they have got the certification. Nobody cares about those access review logs, the change request tickets, the change request reports, the DR drill reports, the patch cycle logs. Nobody remembers all those things. So yes, these are the things that they have to collect over a period of time, even after the certification is there. See, That is for you. That is not for the auditor. I think this is the major gap that I have seen. Like, I have implemented in many companies. I have myself done the implementation. This is where I see the biggest gap. They think that they are doing it for the certificate, but
Okay.
the reality is that they should do it for themselves, because they want to get secure. It's all about information security,
Okay.
right? It's not
Yeah.
about getting a piece of paper on a stamp that yes, you are certified. It's not about getting that.
True.
It's about getting into that culture. It's about getting into that habit. Okay, so that is where I see a lot of evidences being, ignored here and there, because they forget to actually collect and store them at particular locations like they used to do during the certification audit. Okay, and that is where suddenly when the surveillance audit comes and the auditor comes after 1 year, and they say, show me the logs for the last 12 months, and then they said, oh, last 12 months. But now though they thought that they're already certified, so yes, that becomes
Hmm.
suddenly starts digging through their emails, starting searching,
Yeah.
oh, what we have done in the last 12 months. So that is where it all starts. But yes, again, I would say, don't do SOC 2 type 2, don't do ISO 27001 only to get the reports and certificates. See, at the end of the day, you have to drive this in your organization, and it is only the responsibility of the leadership team. It is the job of the leadership team. It is the job of the people at the top. It is the job of the top management only to make sure that this happens. Nobody else can do that. It has to be driven from the top,
Okay.
and that is why clause number 5 states the role of the leadership team, and that is why it emphasizes that if the leadership is not careful, if they are not, you know conscious, and they are not thinking about these long term objectives, why they started this journey, I think it will always be a dropping ball.
Okay. My next question is, what operational control fail the most in real world?
So, like I said, vulnerability management, patching frequencies defined
Yeah.
in the policy but not followed on the real time. Okay, I've seen a lot of mismatches there. Similarly, backup policy management also, it mismatches a lot. Okay, your backup will say something, your backup policy will say something, but on the ground gradually it starts to differ. That's what happens over the time, right? Then you have information security policy which are outdated because new laws are coming. For example, DPDP has come now. Is your information security policy
Hmm.
capturing the DPDP requirements? I can tell you, sitting here, nobody
Okay.
have updated their information security policy after DPDP has come. Hardly there will be very few companies who have done that, because that is the problem actually. The first thing that we need to do is update the
Hmm.
policies, because new laws are coming, new regulations are coming. We have to be evident about these things. We have to be careful about these things. And this shows the maturity of an
Okay.
organization in terms of information security. If you have done that, absolutely marvelous. But if you have not done that, this shows you how much you are concerned towards information security. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the areas, definitely.
Yeah. Uh, why do surveillance audit catch more non-conformities than certification audit?
This is the reality of the situation now. In many cases it is happening now. Surveillance audits which are happening after 1 year are catching more non-conformities than the certification audits, because auditors are now looking at operational evidence rather than documentation. Now they want you to show them
Okay.
how you are operating this
Hmm.
ISMS, how you are continuously improving this ISMS, what are your KPIs, are those KPIs improving over the time? If the KPIs are not improving over the time, what is the purpose? So all these things the auditors are checking now, definitely. And
What
basically
you
you
would
can't show.
suggest in this case to the organization?
Yeah, yeah. Basically keep on documenting, keep on creating the logs, keep on making sure that your risk assessments are done at least weekly, if not daily. I would say, I know it's not possible, but at least on a weekly basis you update your risk registers, you update your policies as per the new laws which are coming up. And and once in a quarter at least,
Okay.
just check whether the policy is actually matching with the reality on the ground or not. It is the humble request I would say to everybody who is watching this right now. You have written in the policy, but is it really happening on the ground or not? After the certification, check after 5 months, check after 6 months. And if you see a gap, let me know, because I know there will be gaps.
Okay. We were talking about risk, and we also have a big question that what new risk appear after certification that companies don't prepare for?
Very big risk. New laws coming. Okay, new regulations coming like DPDP. Were companies prepared about this? Definitely they were aware that it should come, but nobody was aware about the exact date of enforcement, right? Now they have it. Now it's a new law that has come, right? It's a new change that they have to adopt to now. They have to take personal data more seriously now. Similarly, new technology adoption, like companies start using AI tools,
Mhm.
SaaS products, cloud-based services, and all. All these are what? All these are introducing new risks to the environment, right, of the organization. So that is where these are the areas where they keep on changing the risk, and companies are not prepared for all these things. Your new vendors are coming every day. Every day you're hiring new third-party vendors, but is your third-party risk assessment that much mature? Again, these are the main things. People are changing. Forget about all these things.
Uh,
New people are coming to the environment. What will you do with that?
okay. What's the biggest misconception organization have after they get certified?
The biggest misconception is that we are certified, we are secure. Now nothing can breach the organization. We are secure. We have reached the stage where we wanted to reach. That is the biggest misconception that
Yeah.
they have. They don't know that they have just
Acha.
started the journey. They just have started the journey. They're just at the beginning. They don't know that. They think that we are already there now. We are secure. Nothing can happen to us now.
In this scenario, in this scenario, what you would say to the audience? What to do with this situation?
See, I would say maintain consistency. All the things that you are
Hmm.
doing in order to get that certification, maintain consistency on that. All the documentation, all the logging, whatever you are doing to get the certification, keep consistency on that. Don't stop it after getting the certification. Continue that. Like this podcast, Vidya, we are doing every day, right? This is a
Hmm.
consistency. We take up new
Yeah.
topics every day. Every day we try to educate people more and more, right? As much as we can. Definitely, everybody
Hmm.
knowledge is limited. We also have limited knowledge. We are not the complete experts here, but whatever knowledge we have, we try to share. We try to improve
Hmm.
upon it. We try to help the community more and more. Similarly, organizations after getting the certification should also consistently keep on doing the same things like you were doing during the certification time, because of two reasons. First reason, you have a surveillance audit after 1 year, and if you will
Hmm.
not do all these things, you will be caught in the surveillance audit. They will easily catch up all these things. And second reason is that you're doing it for your own. You're not doing it for your customers, you're not doing it for your clients, you're doing it for your own organization. That is the most important reason, I would say.
Okay. So at the end of this podcast, what is your final advice to all the organization to stay compliant year after year?
So these are some of the continuous improvement journey chart that I have prepared for organizations, Vidya. If you want to be continuously improving your ISMS, if you want to continuously update your ISMS, if you want to manage your ISMS after getting the certification. These are few steps. Again, these are not the complete steps, I would say, but these are definitely few steps that you can start implementing, you can start including in your organization, so that at least you get there, okay, to begin with. For example, like I mentioned, periodically updating your risk assessment, you have to do that. There is no other option, right? Keep your documents up to date with the new regulations like DPDP and all, like we discussed, right? Conduct periodic internal audits, validate that are you really compliant with the standard or not. Conduct the internal audits, very important, okay. Training with the new regulations, with the new requirements of security for your employees, again, so important. So this is the part where organizations have to focus more and more with their. These are the things that they have to look at now more, rather than certification, I would say. I would highly recommend this, because getting certification is easy nowadays. I told you, it's a set of procedure you have to follow.
Yeah.
Even if you'll not get it first time, second time you'll apply, definitely you know what you need to do, then you'll get it. But what happens after the certification, after the SOC 2 reports are done, that is more important. And it's not only about ISO 27001, it is about other certifications also, other reports also, okay. So
Yeah.
don't look at this as a sprint. This is a marathon. Information security is not a sprint, it is a marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of today's episode. If there's anything to take away from this conversation, let it be this, that ISO 27001 isn't a certificate you can hang on the wall. It's a discipline you can practice every single day. And thank you, Love, for breaking down the realities organization face once the audit ends and the real work begin. If you are listening and you want to truly master ISO 27001, not just for passing an audit, but for building a secure, compliant, and audit ready organization, join our practical hands on GRC course at Cyber GRC. Whether it's ISO 27001, ISO 42001, AIMS, DPDP Act, SOC 2, PIMS, or TPRM, we don't teach theory, we teach real implementation. Until next time, stay secure, stay compliant, and keep improving your ISMS. This is Vidya signing off.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, everyone who is watching. Thank you.